Were these flicks really meant for kids? Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 darkest moments in children's films. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at moments in films and miniseries aimed at a younger audience that contain moments that are in no way kid-friendly. As such, be on the lookout for a few spoilers down the line. Number 10. The Giant Mouse of Minsk, An American Tale. For the most part, the only emotion that this Don Bluth film conjures up is a growing sense of sadness, as young Fievel Mouskowitz continually fails to reunite with his immigrated family. That is, until we get towards the finale. In a bid to take down the villainous Warren T. Rat, the mice of New York band together to create a machine that resembles the monster of legend known as the Giant Mouse of Minsk.
It's the Giant Mouse of Minsk!
As it happens, its nightmarish debut not only scares the crap out of the cats, but also every kid in the audience. As dark as this climax is, at least it gets us one step closer to a happy ending.
We did it!
Number 9. The Boat, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Hey Wonka, I want off!
Thought a tour through a chocolate factory would be a dream come true? Well, think again. While the golden ticket winners and their folks get the sugary sweet experience of a lifetime, they also find themselves on the boat trip from hell.
Bastard!
As they press onwards through the tunnel, horrific images start to appear along the walls. But that's not what's most terrifying. That honor goes to Willy Wonka, who starts to sing a less than pleasant tune about how their voyage could end in disaster.
There's no earthly way of knowing
He's singing.
which direction we are going.
It may be over in the blink of an eye, but we're pretty sure moviegoers are still scarred for life from this scene.
The danger must be growing, for the rowers keep on rowing.
Number 8. Fieries, Labyrinth.
What's going on?
The horror factor here works on two levels. First, there's the less than stellar green screen background that at times is just painful to look at. And then there's the Fieries. This film had already given us a fair amount of disturbing puppets that would give anyone shivers. But then these guys show up and things get even crazier.
I just throw in my hand with the chillest bunch in the land.
Not only do these creatures live up to their namesake and start random fires, but they also seem to get their kicks by ripping off their own heads and tearing out their eyeballs. Even if they do look like Muppets. Seeing all those limbs flying is sure to creep you out.
Hey lady!
Number 7. Jabberwocky, Alice in Wonderland.
Mother, Father, I'm back!
Step aside, Tim Burton. This is how you generate fear in an Alice in Wonderland adaptation. In this TV version of the classic Lewis Carroll story, we see Alice return home after her crazed adventures. There's only one problem. She's now on the wrong side of a mirror.
Mother, Father, I'm here, look!
Unable to reach her parents, Alice doesn't have much time to contemplate before she receives a visit from the Jabberwocky. The practical effects of the suit may not have aged well, but as far as a first impact goes, we can see such a monster petrifying any unfortunate children who happen to be watching. Number 6. Flying Monkeys, The Wizard of Oz.
Take your army to the haunted forest and bring me that girl and her dog.
And you thought The Wicked Witch of the West was bad. While this classic green-skinned villain terrorized many children with her shrill laughs, she's still second best in the scare department when up against her winged henchmen. While their screen time is vastly limited, the sight of hundreds of these flying monsters swooping through the sky and swarming around Dorothy filled many with dread. Given how demonic these monkeys look, as well as their vast numbers, we can see why the infamy of these creatures has withstood the test of time. Number 5. The Chokey, Matilda.
You're heading for the turkey, young lady.
Chokey!
Can we just admit that this film is filled with examples of child abuse? The ultimate punishment for misbehaving students, designed by the monstrous Miss Trunchbull. The Chokey is a thin cupboard filled with broken glass and nails, forcing students to stand as still as can be or risk being cut.
Get outside, you festering ball of pus!
As if school wasn't bad enough, the thought of teachers being able to inflict such cruelty probably scared a fair few youngsters straight. Here's hoping some members of faculty weren't too inspired by this.
Are you okay?
Number 4. Winged Devourers, the Beastmaster. Man, the 80s got away with showing a lot more mature content back in the day. In this vastly underrated fantasy epic, a warrior with the power to communicate with animals battles against a wicked sorcerer to avenge his people and free an enslaved populace. There's blood, boobs, cute animal sidekicks, everything you could want in an adventure flick. Then these creatures show up. We have no friggin' idea what their backstory is. But what we do know is that they love nothing more than to trap humans in their wings, before showering them in acid until they're nothing more than a fleshy puddle and a pile of bones. Lovely. Number 3. Toxic Love, Fern Gully the Last Rainforest.
What a miraculous device.
Oh, Tim Curry, we will never get tired of your performances. But we'll be damned if you don't make for a scary as hell animated villain. As an evil entity that thrives on pollution, Hexus wastes no time in taking advantage of a local logging company and their machines to revive himself to full strength, complete with a catchy tune.
Ooh, you love my toxic love.
While his voice may be velvety smooth, his appearance is far from pleasant to look at. Then there's his final form, where he loses all sense of slickness to become some kind of diabolical beast. Pretty sure there are 90s kids who still aren't over that.
Mister!
Number 2. Bunny Massacre, Watership Down. It's a rabid dog ripping apart adorable bunnies to bloody pieces with its jaws. Who wouldn't be traumatized by seeing something like this? A truly harrowing piece of animation. You'd have thought that the worst this film could get would be watching rabbits kill each other, but then the dog enters the scene and things become a whole lot gorier.
Run! Run for your lives!
The bloodthirsty mutt and the deranged woundwort throw themselves into a final bout. While we never see the outcome, going by what we just had to go through, we can guess it wasn't a pretty picture. Number 1. The Child Catcher, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Here we are, children. Come and get your lollipops.
Remember how whimsical this film was? How its songs were delightful and the entire premise revolved around this one miraculous car? Well, for any kids who saw it, chances are the only thing they remember is this top-hatted, large-nosed antagonist whose sole goal was to capture children.
There are children here somewhere.
Granted, we never see him do anything awful. But can you honestly watch that whole scene where he tries to lure the kids out with sweets and not feel disturbed? Despite it all being a fantasy, there's an element of real-world threat that makes this character poignantly unsettling.
Lollipops. Come along, my little ones. Lollipops.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Ms. Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.